Okay, so the intro continues to go on, but it's essentially a repeat of those two things. There's two separate endings to the main riff there, and we'll go over both. So how do we start? We start by placing our index finger, or whatever finger feels most comfortable for you in this position, on the 7th fret of the 6th string, so we get this kind of sound. And then we're going to be doing palm muting on the top string opened. So you get, with the palm, sounds like that. For this purpose though, I'll leave it unpalm muted, but just remember that all the top notes on the 7th string here are going to be palm muted because they're open. And you'll see what I mean as we go through the progression. So we're going to do about 4 to 5 of these. It's 1 and 2 on the top. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. Then we're going to move down from there. We're going to stay on the 6th string still, and we're going to go down to the 2nd fret. So we get this sound, followed by, and then this, which is still just moving up on the same string, which is still the 6th string, to the 3rd fret. So we do 7, and that is the progression for the intro right there, right? So now the first ending here in the beginning is going to be right? So how do we play that? We're going to do 3 and 5. Up on the top string, so the 7th, we'll have the 3rd fret covered, and then on the 5th string, we're going to have the 5th fret covered. And just those two, so we'll mute the string in between. We'll slide down to 2, 4, and then back up. So 1, 2, like that. Then we play through it again. Just like that. The second ending is just slightly different, but it's the same progression, right? So instead of doing it over here, we're going to do it up here. So we'll have it on the 6th string now. We're going to have the 10th fret covered, and we're going to have the 12th fret covered on the 4th string, and we're going to forget about that string in the middle, so we're going to mute it. Right? So we're going to do... So this is 10, 12. We slide down 1 to 9 and 11 on the same strings. We slide again to 7 and 9. Then we break, and then we come back up 9, 11 to 10, 12. And then we break back into the intro. That is the intro with both endings. You'll repeat that, I think, 2 to 3 times before you come back in now to this verse. So moving on, verse is very straightforward. The verse, we're going to be alternating between 3 chords. The first chord is going to be, you'll hear this chord, and then this one. And that is everything for the verse. So how do we do that? We're going to leave just the top string open. Then we'll have our 2nd fret on the 6th string covered with any finger you choose. I like to use the index finger. And then after that first chord, we're going to have this next one. So now it's 2 still on the 6th string, but we're covering the top string up now. And we're only going to have 4 on the 5th string down. So we get this chord before we slide up 1 fret on each string to 3, 5. Now, in this section, the verse is played in triplets. So just remember it's... You'll hear at the end of the verse, though, that we're going to have this quick little ending. And if you listen closely, you'll notice that it's the same exact ending for the first part of the intro. It's this. Right? So it's the same exact part. Just remember, after you hear and you listen along for it. Now, the next section after this is what I call the pre-chorus, right? So this is another straightforward part. So once we get back up to here from that little progression, we're going to slide down again to 2, 4. We're going to open up and we're going to play. And then we're going to follow that up by playing 16th staccato notes on the top string here on 2nd fret. So we're going to get... And then once we finish that up, you listen along, we're going to do... Okay, so after you do that open plus your 16th notes, it's just 4 and 6, 5 and 7, 7 and 9, right? You're sliding up the same strings, 7 and the 5th string here, and the positioning is not changing in our fingers, so all you got to do is just move up the fretboard. Once you get to 7 and 9, the first time, because this part is played twice, you're going to slide back down, and you're going to hit that open again, and follow it up again with the 16th notes, and then after you're done with that, instead of playing through that last chord, you're just going to hit it one time, hard stop, and then we're going to break into the chorus. So let's play through the chorus now. Okay, so the chorus for the rhythm section is very much so just power chords. So the power chords here are going to be on 5, 7, and 7. We're going to start on the 6th string here, so we get like that. And then we're not going to move our fingers because it's a chord progression on those same exact strings. So we'll start here, just strumming along with some 8th notes. Then we'll slide up to 9, 11, and 11. Same string still. 8th notes again, slide down. 7, 9, and 9, followed by the last chord in the progression on 4, 6, and 6. Now this last little part that you hear is very straightforward, okay? So it's just, how do you do that? So it starts here on 4 on the 6th string, right? On the 4th fret, followed by 5 on the same string, excuse me. Then we're gonna hit 7 on the top string, followed by 4 on the string just below it again, then 5, 7, 4, 5, right? So think about your scales and kind of like alternating the positioning, right? So in real time, just like that. Afterwards, you're going to repeat the intro again. Again, it's the same exact thing for the rhythm. You have the first ending followed by the second ending, so just remember with the same body part. And then we're going to get into the second verse. The second verse is a little bit different than the first verse. It's the same exact chords, so remember just those are your chords that you're going to use for the verse, but it's slightly different here, right? So in the beginning, you're going to hear just constant. Right? So that's the beginning, and you're going to do that, I believe it's 3 or 4 times, if I remember the song correctly. And then you'll hear it changes, right? So we go back into those triplets, and then it's just. So recall that though that's the progression that you played in the first verse, and you're going to play in the second half of the second verse. Moving on from there, we're going to play the pre-chorus again. Pre-chorus is still the same part as the beginning. Remember, it's just. Twice, and then you're going to break into the chorus again. Chorus is exactly the same. You know what I mean? Same ending there too. Now we're going to break into the interesting parts, right? So after you hear that last part, you're going to hear, right? And that's the transition into that bridge part. So that chord, once you hit that last note here, you're going to do, which is 4, 6, and 6, starting on the 6th string, then 5 and 4. We're going to slide down to 2, 4, and 4 on the same strings. Before going up the strings, we're do 5, 7, 7 here, and then down. 1 fret to 4, 6, and 6. And then we begin the bridge section. So the first section right here is going to be, this is the first triplet, right? So it's 1, 2, and that is going to be on the 3rd fret of the top string, followed by the 2nd fret. So you're just still on the same string. So you'll have these in little 2s, right? So it should be 1, 3, followed by 5 strokes on the 2, on the 2nd fret there, right? And then it's going to be 4 triplets of just, followed by one more section of, right? And then we get that first ending, which is just. And how do we do that ending, right? So that ending is going to be, we open up the top string, so it's 7 string open, followed by 2 on the same string, then 3. Then we're going to move up to 1 on the 6th string, right? Cycle back down to 3 up top, 2, open again, and then one more time through, 2, 3 on the same string up top. But instead of going to 1 this time, we're going to go to 4 on the 5th fret. Right? And then 3, 2 back down. So that's the first part of it. After that, you heard this, right? Okay, so similar to the first part of the bridge here, it's going to be this. So 2nd fret on the 7th string. Then open. Right? So it's 2 triplets here for this part, then again. And we're going to just have 4 triplets of... And then you'll hear this part. So we start with 2 and then 3. So it's the inverse of the first part of the bridge here, right? Where we did. Now in this part, we're going to do. And it follows the same exact pattern, right? So we'll do 1 followed by 5 of these 5 strokes for this 3. And then 2 and then 5 again, right? And then the last part of this section is just going to be very similar to the other ending, right? And instead of doing this, though, we do 1 again, right? So real quick through one more time. And that is that first part of the bridge there, right? So then after that, we break into the solo. The solo is really straightforward for the rhythm section here. So all we're going to do is just going to alternate between this and this chord, right? And you're not going to be playing the full chord the entire time. If you listen very closely, what you're going to do is you have to listen for the open or the unpalm muted sections, and you'll hit the chord open. But majority of the time during the solo, you're just going to be doing this. You'll be palm muting, and you'll have your finger on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. It's actually mostly just this note, right? And then you'll hear sections where it's like, and it moves up, right? And it's just this note. That's all the solo is. It's just alternating back and forth between it. If you listen to it, you'll be able to hear it. Now, at the very end of the solo for the rhythm section, there's going to be another part, and all we're doing is playing the same exact part that we play it at the end of the bridge portion. We're just going to play it a string down, right? So we did, right? And now we're going to do to end it, right? And then we're going to break into that weird little open chords progression, right? So that next progression, I'll play through it real quick, and then we can kind of discuss it. Dun, dun, right? So dun, dun. And then we're going to add 11 and 13. So this first finger is going to be on the 6th string, and then this finger is going to be on the 4th string here, right? And this is going to be on 13. So it's, and you're still going to play that open top string when you hit the chord now. And then you're going to follow that up by doing, right? Almost triplet like again. So we'll then do 8 on the top string and then 12 on the 2nd string down from the top, right? So the 6th string on 12. So it's first going to be only the top note, and then you'll do the chord together. Similar to that first part, then we slide down. So we'll do 3 and then 7 here. So it's again. That's what you heard, right? So it's. That last part is just going to be open top, 5, 7, open 6, 5, 7. Little like pull-offs and hammer-ons, right? And that's that section. You'll repeat it, right? So it's. Okay, so how do we do this? We're going to start right here on the 7th fret of the 6th string. So we'll do that. So we go 1 string down and we place it on 9 and then 10. And then we go to the top string and we're going to do 7 again. But we're going to do 8 on the same string and then 10 on the string below it. So the first part so far is... And the next part after that is going to be 5, 7, 8, then 3, 5, 7, then 5, 7, 8, followed by 5 on the 6th string. So one more time with a little bit of speed. And then the next part you heard there, because you're going to play that first section there twice, is going to be similar to the intro, right? So it's one note here on the 6th string, followed by open up top. And that note here is going to be on 10. So 10, 9, 7, 12, 9, 10, 10, 9, 7, 12, 9, 10, before breaking back into it. And so on and so forth, right? Once we finish up this last part, which is going to culminate with the part I was just playing there, we're going to break back into that pre-chorus, which you'll start the same way again. It's just followed by those 16th notes. Right? We keep going, build. Short staccato hit, bam, and then you're going to hear that little in the background, right? And that's still the chorus, you're just palming it instead this time, right? And since you're the rhythm guitar, here in this instance, we're going to keep playing it. Now we play through the chorus about 3 times, and we're going to get to the outro, right? So the outro is going to sound remarkably similar to the part that we played just after the solo because it is identical. And just to recap again, it's just... So it's that part. We'll play through that about 2 times. You'll listen along and you'll be able to hear the little intricacies. It's a slightly different thing. And then the last chord you're going to hear at the end is just going to be, we'll pause after we play that section. It's just... And that note is just literally a chord of open top, 2, and 2 on the subsequent 2 strings right there. Yeah. And that is how you play Trivium's Catastrophist from a rhythm guitar point of view.